Hi. Today we'll be discussing about the prompt engineering. The OpenAI have released a guideline where they have specifically suggested how to communicate with the large language models like ChatGPT and how to get the best output from the large language model communication and the way we can most efficiently use them to get the best output. Within the OpenAI guidelines, they have released six strategies. Those strategies are the key to efficiently communicate with the large language models and get the work done. As it's used to say, the LLMs like baby or has teenagers with a lot of informations and the capacities which can be translated into the capabilities and can be done your work efficiently with the proper guidance and the strategy implemented by the person who is communicating. So, if you want to communicate the language of communicating with such large language models, or generative AI is the prompt engineering. And the OpenAI strategy of communicating with such large language model has this six section divided. The first one is clear instructions writing. So when you are writing something, that's the language you are talking with the large language models. And that need to be precise, to the point, and structured so that you can communicate in an efficient and effective way. Second is providing the reference tag so that it can understand that what the task it's specifically supposed to do in a reference of which tags. The third strategy is splitting the complex task into simpler subtasks. For example, if you want it to to write a complete assignment or business, I would say like entire strategy with elaborate explanation, that your writing could end up 100 pages also. You, you should not ask the LLM to write it at once. The first thing will be you'll be asking it to make, first thing is giving it context, make it understand, help it to get the entire grasp of the situation, and write it a basic outline which can be implemented step by step to complete the entire full task. So the writing the outline and stratifying it is the baseline of it. And then each of those outlines can be assigned as a task, and those all subtasks can come together and make it a complete task. Then the fourth one is giving the model time to think. What it means is simple, that if you You are giving it a very complex task. It requires some time for it to strategify, then implement at some extent, and executing that task and reevaluating either the task is done properly or not is very important. And that takes some time. For example, you ask it to write code to generate a graph. You provided the data to the chat GPT form. Now you ask it, okay, generate a graph. You are not specific in there. So the model need to understand your perspective, and then it will outline several graph strategy. It will write the code, and that code will be implemented and the multiple graphs will be generated. Now this process takes some time, and then it need to re-verify also at some extent, is it properly done or not? Because the way the magical improvements or the leap of these LLMs took over the course of last couple of years is really surprising. So the capacity and the capability it has to implement such code, and therefore generating the output, can take some time. So you need to give it time. You can ask on the next prompt. If you don't see the output, you can write the next comment and ask it, was it complete? If not, why don't you complete it first and give me the output? And then it can go for the next task. The fifth one, use external tools. So this is a very tricky question. What is saying, okay, write an essay on certain topic with proper citation, as we have, like our tool. If you can see the a video on this channel, that it writes the paper with proper citation and everything. So that is one type of task. If you want the chat GPT or the Cloudy or the Bird or any others, for example, you want it to specifically write a code. In terms of chat GPT, you can better utilize it by using the chat GPT advanced code interpreter. And that code interpreter will have the capacity to write your code and execute it in there if external environment is not required. Another strategy is, if you want it to generate a figure, then how do you do it? You simply ask it. You need the del E to do it. You cannot do it manually. So the del E will be generating the figures in there. There is a browsing specific task that can be done from there. There are tasks which can be get you can get from different of these plugins. Each of them have certain tasks to complete. So it's important to know that's what are the tools you are going to need to complete the task, and you can denote it. Okay, these tools you can use to complete the specific task, and taste changes systematically. So the what are the things you are telling? You can reevaluate and assess, or you can give a task which you know the output, that okay, this is the output you are expecting. So it tastes the system first, and if it gives the gold standard out of there, then you can go for the task which you want this LLM to complete. So let's go through the elaborate details of this prompt engineering of these six strategies denoted and detailed by the OpenAI. The first, we come to the first one, which is write clear instructions. So we come in here. So what are the parts in here? The write clear instruction is the language of communication with your LLM. And the first part in here is write elaborate details. What do you want it to do? Every bit of it. The second part is ask the model to adapt a persona, how or what it is supposed to do, and what trend or what type of thought it need to go through. The third is delimiter. So delimiter is you can use the dot 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 or apostrophes to separate one instruction from another one. To specify the steps required to complete a task. Give it a clear example or the steps in instruction so that it can do the way you want it. Cannot read your mind. That's true. But you asked it to do systematically based on your instruction. That is it is going to do. And it is going to doing it for the millions of other people. So that need to be specific. You can give an example to get it understand better. And specify the desired length of the output. That's very important. You can ask for a summary of if you want to write an abstract for your probably the American Society for Hematology, they have certain limit. If you want to write an abstract for the nature immunology, that has certain length, the number of words or the character, including a space out of the space. So give a complete instruction in there. That's very important. The second task we have is provide a reference text. This is very important. You give it the model giving a reference text. Like you give a book, the whole book you upload it in there. Now you ask, okay, you go through this, and within this a specific chapter, I want you to find out this specific answer. If not, just give me nothing. You need to know what you are asking it. It's not a person, and you don't encourage it to go randomly. Set up your temperature based on your interest, creativity, or specific. Set up your topic or nucleus sampling, specific. In other video, we have talked about it. And then ask it a specific question to get it done. Don't go random multitasking, which will be more of a burden for you rather than the assistant you are asking. Now, the third portion is split complex tasks into simpler subtasks. So, it's very important, as I explained earlier. You cannot ask the whole book to write at once. First, ask the machine to outline the entire task based on all the requirements you have. First, at the instruction, you gave it, okay, I want to write this book. The second part, give your thoughts. What do you want? It's the story. Okay, about that beautiful guy on the beach in Miami, just enjoying the ocean and the bridge in there. Now, you want the ChatGPT to write a probably a short story or a poem by thinking about the or entire her surroundings and the lovely environment the Miami Beach is offering. So you can ask them to ChatGPT or LLMs first to outline the task. Okay, this is something we want in there. Could be implemented within this short story. Then you ask one by one, those to be implemented and complete the shortest, probably 10 page or something. And the next one is give the model time to think. This is very important. You cannot ask it to get it done, everything within a second. It can take some time. So let's give it some time. The chain of thought need to go through one by one. Each tokens need to be gone one by one, and eventually they need to meet together. They need to make a complete output which is reliable, trustable, and most importantly, is something valuable what you are asking for. Otherwise, it's worthless wastage of time. So instruct the model. Don't rush. Take your time. Verify each of the queries. Go through each of the tokens, and then complete the entire task. And that's the strategic way we think. And the machine is developed, and its a neural network is on such way that it can complete the task. In other video, we have talked about it. And the next one, use external tools. So the you can tell it the specifically what is type specific task is need to be done. For example, you want to run a Python code, and you need to, if you want to run some simple text generator, the probably that won't work good. In ChatGPT, you have the OpenAI code interpreter, probably. Nowadays, I don't know. It was before. They clubbed them together now. So earlier we had code interpreter separately, or if we go to the cloud or any other, understand all of that. Why don't you ask it? This is the specific code Python code implementation task. So please use the prioritize or please prioritize the code interpreter in here, and then run this specific task and show me this specific output so that the model understand what you are actually looking for. The next one is the last one, test changes systematically. This is very important. It's important the model output to check, evaluate it. So if you want, okay, I want this specific task to be complete. I have a set of code in here. Okay, I have a code which I can generate the volcano plot. Now I want it to do something. I want a plot to be generated, a UMAP to be generated, or something like that. I gave the data and I ask it to do it. So first, I have the code. I kind of give the same sort of data in there. Ask it to generate the same volcano plot. We talked in another video about this. Our code is in there. You can use the R or Python to generate the volcano plot accordingly. The point in here is that if it's successfully doing it, so we understand that it is doing based on my instructions are clear to it, the data is clear to it, so it is capable to understand the essence of the task we are about to complete. And when it understands it, then only we give it the new task with full confidence that okay, it can do it. So that's the way you guide and run your large language models. Interact with them, talk with them. It could be a little bit variable from model to models, but eventually the way of interaction is kind of similar across the all large language models. And we have seen different texting's importance and the Anthropic cloud the specific prompt can change the 23% to 97% or something. Just one line of this prompt, that makes it a huge difference in terms of the communication and the efficiency of using the LLMs. And you can go through the entire of these, and you can also look at in here. There's a OpenAI cookbook that you can use. OpenAI. There's somewhere in here. Okay, this one I just so that for my understanding. So you can go through this OpenAI cookbook, and you can go through every details of it if you want and you are interested. These are the extremely valuable resources in this era, which is completely new era of large language models, but it has changed significantly, and it can enhance your efficiency probably by 100% just to know how to communicate with them. And this prompt engineering is the basis of the next generation of communication and get the work done with large language models. I hope this helps you at some extent. Let me know if you need any help or any suggestion anywhere. Thank you so much.